YouTube? It's Carice and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Before we even get into the video, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit below, click subscribe, and give this video a thumbs up. Okay, so as you can see from the title of this video, today I will be telling you guys about how I grew my hair to 3 feet long and how you can do the same too. So my hair actually grew to 34 inches, which is just 2 inches under 3 feet. So now that I've trimmed my ends, I'm trying to grow my hair back and get it to 3 feet exact or even longer. So I'm going to give you guys a few tips to how I grew my hair so long, how I was able to keep it healthy and retain a lot of length. So let's get into the video. So my very first tip for growing super long hair would be to avoid heat. I honestly only get my hair flat ironed or curled or put heat in it at all, go into rollers, under a headset, blow my hair out, anything like that, usually just for my birthday and maybe one other time in the year. So I'd tell anyone that's trying to grow their hair out longer and that's trying to retain length and grow their hair and keep it healthy to stop putting heat in your hair. Some of my friends put heat in their hair every day, every other week, and that's literally burning your hair every time you do that. It's burning the hair cuticle, and that's the quickest way to have unhealthy hair, is to keep burning it. And think about it as well, that the more you burn it, the less your hair is going to be able to curl up the way it's naturally supposed to. So that would be my first tip for retaining length. So my second tip for growing very long healthy hair would be to use a satin pillowcase. So as you can see, satin pillowcases prevent friction in your curls, and also on top of that, if you're sleeping and you have a cotton pillowcase, what it does is that it pulls moisture out of your hair, and that can make your hair very brittle, very dry. On top of that, another thing is to use a silk bonnet. So this is my extra jumbo bonnet because I have a lot of big hair, so I have to be able to fit it in it. So as you can see, it's made out of silk, and what this does is that it keeps the moisture in my hair so that if I don't use a silk pillowcase, I'll still be fine. So I'd advise anyone to use one of the two of these, and this really does make a difference with keeping moisture in my hair, because what I do now is that I might style my hair and then I wear this when I go to sleep, and when I wake up in the morning, I don't have to add anything to it because all the moisture is still retained and still in my hair. So my third tip would be that when you're brushing, combing, or detangling your hair, that you work your way up from the bottom of your hair to the top gently. So for example, if I was brushing my hair, which actually I don't brush my hair like that, but I do comb my hair when I'm in the shower. I detangle my hair when I'm washing it. So what I would do is that I'd work from the bottom of my hair up. Like from the bottom, just keep combing out the knots until I work my way up to the top. And the reason why you want to do that is because if you start combing your hair from the top of your hair, you already know it's going to get stuck in there, it's going to get tangled, and it's going to have a lot of knots. And what that does is that it causes breakage to your hair because you're just ripping through your hair and a ton of hair will come out. But if you start your way from the bottom and make your way up to the top, then that's how you have less breakage, you have less hair pulled out of your head. And another tip would also be not to brush your hair when it's wet. So a ton of people I'd see, like, they come out of the shower, their hair is wet, and they just brush their hair. That causes so much breakage and it rips out so much hair. So my advice for you would be, when you're washing your hair and you're conditioning it, detangle your hair from the bottom up with the conditioner in it and then wash it out. So my fourth tip for growing long hair and retaining length would be to trim your ends when needed. So my thing, when I was younger, I never wanted to trim my ends because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm cutting my hair. I didn't want to cut my hair. But honestly, you need to trim your ends. You need to trim dead ends off. So I'd say for that as well, don't just trim your hair if it's not needed, because you're just cutting off length. Another thing that my cousin actually told me was that you don't need to trim your ends if you don't have split ends, and if you're taking care of your hair, then you shouldn't be getting split ends. So I know most people say, trim your ends 6 weeks, 8 weeks, however. So I usually go for 2 times a year, and I don't trim them until I notice that I have split ends. So I just trimmed my ends last month when I got my hair straightened, so I probably won't go again until like I notice breakage, which would, well, I mean, I notice like split ends, which should be in a few months. So I'd say to trim your hair, to trim off the dead ends, but only trim it when needed, so that you're not just cutting off length. So my next tip for growing long hair would be to not put chemicals in your hair. Don't bleach, don't dye, don't perm, don't relax, don't whatever else you guys can think of, do not do it, because that is gonna damage your hair. And that's because chemicals actually strip your hair of their natural oils needed, so that in turn leads to your hair growing slower. And you guys can actually notice that my hair is lighter on the bottom. I did try all of those things, and I'll tell you that when I did do those things, my hair did grow less. I've ombre'd my hair before, I've bleached half of my hair. After bleaching half of my hair, I dyed my whole head several times. So that's actually why the ends of my hair are lighter, because it's just stuck like that now. So I've been growing it out. So where you see the color start in my hair actually used to be the top of my head. So yeah, I'm just leaving this like this and not adding any more dye, color, anything else to my hair, just letting it grow out naturally. And I think that you guys should do the same and just leave your hair how it is, so it'll be healthier and not be stripped of oil, because my hair was a lot drier and I did have to deep condition a whole lot more when I did dye my hair and bleach it. So my sixth tip for growing long hair would be to oil your scalp with hair oils and do scalp massages. So this is black castor oil, and this is Moroccan oil treatment, argan oil from Garnier Fructis. So what I do is that I try every day to oil my scalp and to do scalp massages, because what scalp massages do is that they stimulate your hair follicles and causes blood circulation to your hair roots, basically. So it's basically waking up your hair roots, and that actually works to grow, because I didn't hear about that until this year, and that's what I did, which made my hair grow longer. So that's something I'd say to do. And also, hair oil nourishes your hair, it hydrates it, so it's basically feeding your hair if you think about it. So my next tip would be to deep condition your hair. I try to deep condition my hair I don't know, every week. When I try to deep condition it every week or maybe every other week, but I just try to incorporate it at least once, twice, 3 times, 4 times in the month. So deep conditioning is good for your hair because it adds a ton of moisture to your hair. Sometimes your hair might be lacking protein. If it's a protein one, it could add protein into it. There's different types of ones, but I love hair masks. And if you're looking for a good brand for that, I love Shea Moisture's hair masks, deep conditioning stuff. Those are my favorite. And deep conditioning is also good because it repairs your damaged hair. So when my hair was damaged a few years ago, that's what I did. I deep conditioned, and it honestly does not even have to be a full-on deep conditioner. It can literally be conditioner, and you just let it sit in your hair for longer, and that works too, because I do that sometimes. I think every week I do that actually. So that's definitely a good tip for getting longer hair and keeping your hair healthy so that it can grow longer. So my next tip for growing healthy long hair would be to use rice water. So rice water is something that I actually recently found out about, but this year was my first time trying it, and I do say that I think it works, because the first few times I used it, I did notice my hair was a lot healthier. Some of my curls in the back that are usually a bit more damaged looking actually started growing in way healthier. And on top of that, this is the first time I tried it, and this is the first time that my hair grew as much as it did in 1 year alone. Well, in a span of just a few months actually. So I definitely say to try that, and that is something that I think I'll make a video on separately, because rice water actually, I just found out as well, is good for your skin. And this week alone I used it on my face, and it cleared up my face ×5 in just 2 days because I just made it 2 days ago. And I definitely say that rice water helps a lot. There's a lot of vitamins and amino acids in rice water that helps to promote hair growth. So I'll tell you guys a little bit more about that. If you guys would like to see a video about rice water and what you can use it for and how you can make it, comment that down below and I'll be sure to do that. So my next tip for growing very long hair would be to try and do low maintenance hairstyles. So what that means is that instead of pulling your hair into a tight ponytail every day or doing whatever tight hairstyles you can and always brushing your hair into different hairstyles every single day, you'll just leave your hair out more. So basically I've been leaving my hair out more and just letting it breathe, letting it do what it needs to do, and letting it grow on its own. Because something that I noticed is that, say for example when I was younger, I'd always wear my hair in a low ponytail, and because of that, always pulling it back with a tight scrunchie every day, it made a ton of like breakage and like dry spots right here. And most people do have dry spots like that because constantly pulling your hair up like this, you'll have a dry spot where that scrunchie is constantly pulling on. So by doing low maintenance hairstyles and just leaving your hair out and letting it grow, your hair is basically not getting as much breakage in that spot anymore. It's just able to be free and grow on its own. Okay, so my very last tip for growing long hair would be to just drink water, eat healthy, take vitamins, and stay as stress-free as you can, because you know you're letting your body do what it needs to do and you're being healthy about it, and that'll make you have healthier hair. I know some people also take hair vitamins. I don't take hair vitamins, but I've heard people say that they do help, so that's another thing. And although some of these tips may work for some of them may not work for others. So this is just what's worked on my hair and my advice to you guys, my tips to you guys. But I definitely do know that most of them will work for you guys and most of them will help you grow longer hair. So I hope you guys try these tips out. Let me know if they worked for you. Let me know if it grew your hair longer. And comment below. Let me know what you thought about the video and what else you guys would like to see. Thank you. Make sure you subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.